Well, this saga of Debbie Wasserman Schultz and her IT aide, Imran Awan, grows more complex and sorted by the day. Wasserman Schultz of Florida continued to employ Awan, he's a Pakistani national, for several months, even after he was banned from the House computer network as a security risk. She refused to fire him until he was actually arrested at the airport trying to flee the country to go back to Pakistan, and then was indicted on several federal charges. Weirdly enough, though, the plot gets even stranger from there. A new report by Luke Rosiak of the Daily Caller News Foundation reveals that Awan actually had a second account with access to the House network. That account was still active as of yesterday, potentially providing Awan secret access to the House network, the very same network, as we just said, he was banned from as a security risk. The secondary email is linked to another House staffer who specializes in intel issues and works for House Intelligence Committee member Andre Carson. Whoa. Mark Steyn is an author and a columnist, and despite being Canadian, seems to care a lot more about America's security than some members of the House of Representatives, weirdly. He joins us tonight. Mark, I'm running out of kind of non-sinister explanations for this story.
Yeah, because basically everything people, as I said on your show a couple of months back, basically everything people have been looking for in the so-called Russia investigation is actually here in the more or less uncovered Imran Awan investigation. This guy had his access to House email withdrawn because he was a security risk, yet he still had a House email. And the House email he had, which is something like 123 at house.gov, suggests that in fact he was rather deeply embedded inside the House email system. There's nothing. By the way, just to talk first principles here, Tucker, I don't actually see why a lot of low-grade congressmen actually require so-called IT aides.
I agree.
And the fact that they have them is a potential security risk. So in a sane world, they wouldn't have IT aides. But if they do, the idea that they subcontract them to one Pakistani family, who are taking home extraordinary salaries that bear no relation to what low-grade IT aides can command, and wind up owning 4 homes in the Washington area, and the official explanation for that is that he had at least 2 wives to support, being a devout Muslim. This story is malodorous to a degree that nothing surrounding Trump's involvement in the Miss Universe pageant in St. Petersburg or wherever it was is at all, and nobody's interested in it.
Well, they're not interested because, as Debbie Wasserman Schultz herself explained, she was protecting this guy from racism, from the white supremacy of America.
Right.
That's why she refused to fire him.
Yeah, he's basically, as his lawyer said, he's being accused of browsing while Muslim, or whatever the
he's a civil rights martyr
was. Yeah, he is a civil rights martyr. He's actually he fled. The wife fled 6 months ago, so that in itself is problematic. There is a high level. She has already attempted to intimidate and obstruct the investigation. As you know, she demanded the return of her laptop from the policeman investigating this, which is exactly, it's on camera, and it's the interference with a police investigation that everyone's accusing Trump of doing with James Comey and all those guys. So everything they're actually been sniffing around in Trump for with the Russian investigation for basically since last summer now, and they haven't come up with, is staring them in the face on this thing.
Man, if we ever get a Republican-controlled Congress, maybe they'll investigate it. That would be great.
Oh, yeah.
We'll hold out for that.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you about
Special investigator.
Don't hold your breath. So Hillary Clinton is back on the campaign trail. She's not trying to get votes this time. Instead, she's trying to sell her new book. It's called What Happened. She'll be hitting no fewer than 15 cities on her tour, and you can see her as long as you pay. This is the amazing thing. In New York City, tickets are $125 a piece. That's about as much as a Broadway show. In Toronto, for $2,400, you can meet Hillary Clinton. So you've sold a lot of books. You've been on the road on book tour. Have you ever heard of a book tour where the author charges to have people come for the privilege of buying the book?
Well, you did compare it with a Broadway show, $125, and you do get a restricted view of a full chorus of Macedonian content farmers dancing behind her, explaining why she lost the election. By the way, the 2400, as I understand it, for a personal meet and greet, there are Saudi princes and Sudanese warlords saying, what the heck, that's bargain basement prices for a meet and greet with Hillary Clinton. I had to pay $4 million to the Clinton Foundation and sit through a speech on diarrhea in Africa from Chelsea before I could get a meet and greet with Hillary Clinton. So that Toronto deal is a hell of a steal. You know, that 2400 for a mere meet and greet, and she will, and she promises to connect with you. So she's been practicing that glassy-eyed stare and the I speak your weight machine voice, and she's promised to be, the press release has announced, so it's official, that she's going to be surprisingly funny. I mean, I found election night surprisingly funny, so that did it for me, really, with the Hillary surprisingly funny routine. But it's been pre-announced that at this Toronto engagement, she's going to be surprisingly funny. So if you go, don't be surprised, because it's guaranteed. $2,400, it's surprisingly funny. For $3,600, she'll be predictably funny.
I'm actually going to watch this segment again on tape because I was so amused by it. Thank you, Mark Steyn. It's great to see you.
Always a pleasure, Tucker.
Thank you. Well, mathematics may have built cathedrals and put a man on the moon, but we have bad news for you. Math is racist. Up next, we'll talk to the president of an organization who says math must be totally overhauled in order to, of course, promote social justice. Stay tuned.